Tournaments are fun and interesting, but today we have 3 ladder games between Liquid's Clem, in the top right spawning as the red Terran player, in the bottom left spawning as the blue Zerg. It's going to be Serral. Like I said, tournament games are very fun, but the ladder of course is where it really matters, because that's where the MMR is on the line. And if there's one thing that these guys care more about than tournament wins, it's definitely going to be who has the highest MMR on the European ladder. It's the only ladder that matters in their head, because it's the only ladder they can truly connect to with a decent ping. So you got Mr. Clem, who's been floating around somewhere between 7.1 and 7.3 thousand MMR for the past few months. Serral, I think, still holds the record for highest MMR ever overall. I believe he managed to reach 7.5 at some point. Currently is floating more around 7.1, maybe mid 7.1, 7.150, something like this. So far away from where he once used to be, but of course still still probably one of the best players in Europe. He's been struggling a little bit in tournaments against Clem recently as well, so we'll see how if that will show in his ladder games too. It's just fun to, sometimes you think about these things, how many good games on ladder are we truly missing? Because on ladder, they're more relaxed, there's usually no super hard preparation for the other players, so you just get very pure games where both players are at least semi-relaxed, and they're playing some good games. So we have that first Reaper coming out here, out of Clem. It's moving in. It's gonna be taking out, or trying to take out at least some of these Zerglings. Does not quite succeed, of course. Zero kills so far, as Serral gets his first creep tumor a little bit further back. Could have also built it here to try and get that creep up the ramp immediately at the same time. I guess this creep is almost connected already anyway, right? It's half a centimeter away. This queen is moving towards the top side. Will now move back to get that inject going. Let's see if that second tumor, Clem knows the timing, sees if he can get a jump in. Check the edge of the creep. Didn't see anything on the edge of the creep and decided not to go for the jump. So he's just making sure that the creep, even though it can get pushed, it can't get pushed as far as Serral wants. Serral wants it on the edge, right? So it's a good move here by Serral. Clem is trying to kind of out-control his opponent here. We see a fast roach arm coming down, by the way. Speed is... it's almost done at this point as well. We're gonna see a couple of roaches. We do see a 4th queen, but we don't see a 5th queen being built yet here on this outside base, which might be a little bit of a tell here for Clem if he's paying attention to that. We have that second barracks. This is the Reaper double Hellion build. This is one of Clem's favorite builds in the current meta game. It allows you to get some map control with these 2 cars, but it also allows you to get a very fast second barracks, very fast starport as well. So he will be able to get on the map pretty quickly from here on out. Let's see, he's going to be able to get something done with these cars. Here goes Clem. Moves in. He's actually going to go for a dive here. There's only 4 links. Going to be able to kill a bunch of these links. And more importantly, I believe he also... Oh, he hasn't seen the road warren actually. Oh, this is extremely not cool here for Clem. I don't think he saw the... No, he must have seen the road. He's building a bunker. I didn't see how he saw it. Yeah, he's building a marauder as well. So, actually pretty solid setup here for Clem. He's fighting against 6 roaches, and it's just 6 roaches for now. I mean, that's just gonna be completely fine with his bunker. Finishes just in time. Marauder should probably move into that bunker. Depot is gonna end up going down. 2 workers have died here. Clem looks at this and says, well, I don't even think I needed that bunker. He's even gonna save his depot. As Serral starts moving back to his own side of the map with these roaches. Creep spread looking kind of okay. Did cut a queen here and there for this extra roaches. We're only on 5 queens currently. Most likely gonna be going into some type of cave bob style. For people not aware, the cave bob style is the style the Dark has been playing a lot. Actually invented it. It's where you just rush roaches very quickly for safety. You don't care too much about the economy, things like counterattacks, and then you go as soon as you can into Hive, into Hydra den, and from there on out into your Lurker den as well. So we see these Marines almost being left behind. Some Kerrigan situations happening over here in this game, but Clem, unlike in the campaign, does decide to go back with the medevac and pick it up. Could have honestly stopped a lot of trouble if they just would have done that, huh? Guess that's the problem with humans. Anticipating the future is always a lot more difficult than you can imagine. Now we see a bit of a rotation coming out of Clem here. He's gonna get a scan out, most likely, or try to get a scan. He moves to the middle of the creep, usually, before he scans, so he can pick off the frontal creep tumors, and then, while he runs away, he can take out the ones in the back. You might think, well, that was kind of useless, like he didn't even deny the creep, but he did stop these tumors from spreading to the next one. So he might not have denied this creep, he denied the tumors that would have gone here otherwise. So it is good to make this type of moves. It looks like he might have just kind of wasted a scan, but it's still useful. I mean, you still need to do that. We see a lot of Ravagers on the way here. We're not actually seeing Cave Pop because we see +1 melee. We see Carapace upgrades coming out as well here for Serral. He's going to be going into Banelings. He's on 66 workers, which is relatively low. His main goal here is... Oh my god, this is a fast forward base, huh? Fast forward base, second factory as well going down. We are on 5 racks and an armory. Yeah, his goal here is to kind of crush this push, and after you crush it is to drone up to hopefully 82, 83 if you're Serral. You want to be going into those very high drone counts. You still see a lot of links being produced. You see an infestation pit as well. Fast hive here coming out of Serral. He's going to send some links into this watchtower, make sure that he can take those out. 4 extra drones being produced. Not all that much. Clem's being caught out of position at least a little bit. Bailing speed's almost done. I think Serral is actually just setting up for an attack. Is it possible that Serral's going to be setting up for an attack? We have double siege tank production on the way, so opting for no mines. Even though his opponent is very Ling Bane heavy. You see that? There's a couple of Ravagers, but these are fakes. I think Serral's actually going to go here. He's not been building drones that much. He's only at 78 right now. He is at 8 casts though. Yeah, he's getting a hive. Maybe he's just gonna relax for a bit. Creep spread, once again getting denied here by Clem. Moves forward with these Marines, with these Marauders, and will be able to pick up. Beautiful little moves here coming out of, just coming out of Clem. There's a lot of medevacs for the amount of Marines that is here, by the way. A little bit of a Baneling run by got missed by the Observer. Observer is a Protoss player, so not quite as fast as these two guys. Can't quite keep up. Good little trade here coming out of Clem. He's actually going to take out a lot of the links. Serral was not paying attention. There was bleeding links against Marines. You never want to be fighting links into Marines, and especially if those Marines are being healed, because that's just not good trades. Banelings, however, trade absolutely beautifully against Marine. Here we see Serral coming in with those Banelings. Going off creep against Clem is big though, and it's not something that I would suggest anyone to do, because he will just target down your Banelings and he'll ruin your life. He's just messing around with these mineral patches, hey? Just looking for places where he can chill in between those mineral patches. Couple of tanks moving forward right now as well. 2-2. It's only started now for both players, so actually pretty slow on the upgrades. We have this kind of dive into the natural. Serral's not quite aware of that. There is a spore here in the natural. Serral's gonna shave off a couple of links from his main army. We'll be able to deal with this. There's 2 Marauders here. Marauders have way less DPS than these Marines do. Clem taking a pretty forward fight. And actually the supply is looking very favorable here for Clem. 1 Blighting Cloud. I guess there used to be a tank here, but it ain't there no more. Ain't no blinding cloud when you're gone. Bow, bow, bow. 3 tanks moving forward. Going on the edge of the creep, not moving too far forward. We have a 5th base on the way, while Serral's still struggling to get his own 5th base up. It's not a good position to be in as a Zerg player. A couple of scans forward here. We have, what is this, 7 medevacs? 4 tanks, and we have at least 2 abducts ready on these Vipers. I'm surprised we're not seeing them used. We're not seeing these Ravagers trying to bile down tanks either. I guess even if there's just a couple of units ahead of the rest of the army, that makes it really, really difficult. I like that Serral, even though that he's under so much pressure, still manages to send out run-bys like this. That's so extremely important to kind of alleviate the pressure that you have on you. Now, Luckily for Clem, he did have a bunch of the units that usually are rallied across the map still at home. Tank is now moving forward into territory where he can start sieging this hatchery. And this is looking like trouble. This is smelling like trouble, actually. Not the greatest split initially there from Clem, but a lot of Marauders can tank, of course. There's a lot more Marines there in the far back. Ultras trying to push in, not quite getting the angle that they want. I guess we're gonna need to see some flanking play here if Serral wants to ever break this. Once again, Lynx coming in, no control out of Serral. This is a one-dimensional attack from one direction, and these Ultras are actually doing a pretty decent job so far, taking out these Marines and Marauders, but it's still not quite the trade you want if you are Serral, and even accidentally moving back a little bit with these Ultralisks for now. You see the infinite kiting coming out of Clem. Here comes the pickup. Overall, good trade so far this game for Clem. Income in favor of Clem as well. He is taking a 5th base. Serral's trying to establish his 5th base, but I mean, Clem scouts this. He actually sent his medevac there, I think, just for a scout. Sees, okay, there's a base there. He's probably just going to send out 2 drops there later. Or he might even start pushing there altogether. He wants to take out this high ground creep. You see the creep is looking very, very poor here for Serral. Not quite what you want if you're playing against someone like Clem, where you want to be taking majority of your fights off creep. Yep, here comes the split off. Like I said, 2-3 medevacs are going towards that bottom side. Try to force a split off of the army, while the main army once again is taking this very nasty position. This tank position is so huge. Every single time you just can't get to that stupid tank. And slowly but surely crawling forward with the rest of his army. This base is almost dead, by the way. I kind of forgot about that. There's nothing here. Serral saw this group of units move out, but it's not quite in position. Clem's not controlling this army yet. He's mainly paying attention here. Oh my god, that's a single blinding cloud that's hitting 4 tanks right there. I mean, that would be a big deal if there was fighting going on right now, but there's no fighting going on currently. GG, so that's 3 Gs that Serral sends. He must have really liked this game. Or to send 3 Gs. Clem wins game number 1 of this little triplet of ladder games that I have between these two. So let's hop into game number 2. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, game number 2 here, once again on 2000 atmospheres. And hopefully we're gonna see a little bit of a longer game. Whereas the last game Clem managed to win kind of easily, honestly, with a couple of pushes. Didn't seem to struggle too much. The funny thing with Clem is that he can have very basic armies, very basic build orders, and just purely through control completely destroy his opponent. And he can do that with opponents any level. I mean, you don't pay attention to your army for half a second, it can just die. I checked the MMRs, by the way, just before this game. I believe Clem was floating a little bit above 7k MMR, 7k and 50, and Serral was floating somewhere around 7.2k at this point. So right now the MMR of Serral is still slightly higher, but who knows? They play 4 or 5 more times, and just like that, bam, Clem can take it back. Serral actually been struggling a little bit in tournaments with Clem. We have to say it. Clem's been showing his powerful form recently. Very, very powerful form. As the Serral's just opening up with a standard hatchery first. Now, one of the things that you could say might be a weakness of Clem, or just something that he doesn't care about, is that he never really proxy rexes. In general, most of his strategies are rather standard. He doesn't all in too much, and I think this is a product of him just being so comfortable in that early, well, actually just the entire matchup. Like, you don't really want to risk anything. I still feel like even if you're better than your opponents, it's still nice to every now and then throw a 2 rex in there, you know, throw a 3 rex in there. His micro definitely is good enough. He knows how to move Marines. He knows the build orders. Like, it's like he doesn't know how to transition out of it. It's just that there is some risk involved in case of pull first and things like those. But I think if you're Clem, you really want your opponents to be even more scared of you than they already are. Right now, when a Zerg player sees Clem, they think, okay, what is the current toolbox, like what of Clem, what does that include? And you think, okay, well, there's a couple of triple CC builds, there might be 1.5 Hellbat build in there as well, but they don't see any proxy rexes, they don't see any of the truly crazy stuff, you know, that we'll see people like Maru, even when they were at their absolute peak in TVZ, still would throw in there just to keep the Zergs on their toes even more. It makes preparation for you as a player still so much freaking harder. As we see, Clem decides to move back with this Reaper Took a little bit of damage already. Oh, it's gonna... No, it's not gonna get the dive in. It's gonna get 2 links though. So nice start here for Clem. Gets 2 links. Didn't manage to do that last time, of course. Very, very powerful. Serral taking the forward base. Couple of reasons for that is that it gives you 2 options for what forward base you potentially want to be taking. So usually it's a similar scenario to, for example, Romanticide taking that forward base. If you take this base, you can see where you have more creep. So if you have a lot of creep here, you can just take your fourth here. And if a lot of creep gets denied over here, you can just take your fourth base here. If you take this as your third base instead, this base never is going to be a fourth base. It's just not possible the way the map is set up. I mean, Terran can probably park a tank over here or something like that, and this base becomes almost impossible to keep. So your first 5 bases are going to be this 5. And then the 6th base, I guess, eventually will need to become this, but it is going to be quite tricky to ever hold that, in my opinion. At least as a Zerg player, unless you get like creep all the way over here or something like that. So we have a couple more cars. Last game we saw only 2 cars. This time we're going to be going into, well, it starts with 4 cars. We might go into 6 from here. We see a Liberator being built as well. This could be 8-car Liberator Viking. Could also just be 6-car Liberator 6 Hellion. Oh, needs to be careful here. It's going to get... Oh. Clem's going to lose a single car here. We'll get a couple of links, but not a great trade. 3 links for a car, and 2 of those links were killed with a Reaper. So, really just a link for a car now. That's never what you want. A little bit of a supply block here for Serral, uncharacteristic. Has to build 5 extra Overlords. Gonna be going... So he went for 8 cars. Single Liberator. Into your standard 3-rack shenanigans. See if Clem's gonna be capable of doing anything with these cars here. I honestly kind of doubt it. Serral tends to be pretty decent. Gets a single Baneling in case of Hellbats. Or maybe in case of a run-by. Did this get spotted yet? I don't think it did. See what the reaction time here is for Serral. He sees it. He starts sending queens to new locations. That... Wait, what? That Liberator Zone... I guess it hit a couple of patches. Not too many though. Same time we have Clem trying to rotate to find creep tumors. He's not doing that bad, honestly. Oh! Yeah, that was not the move you wanted to make. Just looking, see if he could shoot something there. He might be able to get this one if he's quick. Rotation here, not fast enough. Good 2-3 queen split out of Serral as well. He's going to be able to deny this tumor from dying. 3rd CC coming down. I like this start a lot for Serral, honestly. See, the extra barracks are delayed. There's a tank on the way. Sure, all of that is very, very nice for Clem, but usually he's already on the map with his 2 medeffects if he would play the double car into double barracks. He just simply did not do that here, and because of that his push out is going to be a little bit later. I think Serral here is probably thinking like, hey, can I actually get away with getting more drones? Can I go up to 72, 73 drones here? I think the answer might be actually yes. We see 10 more drones on the way before the first push even hits. Now, usually you see Zergs actually going up to 66, 65 before that first double medevac push if you're playing against something like 2 Hellion. But because this early game was so solid right now, the advantage that Clem is at, or the advantage that Serral is at, is actually kind of big. I mean, Clem won't be able to get a forward base until like a minute, maybe a minute and a half from now. He's getting a 5th gas, we see some creep spread denial, but these cars honestly haven't done all that much. I mean, they've taken out 4 tumors, and we've seen like maybe 7 extra links die total so far. So yeah, it's a big investment in cars that hasn't really paid off. Of course, they also give some map control. Okay, here comes the double marine, but yeah, I mean, Serral is just absolutely ready for this. A couple of Banelings are gonna get sniped. Nice micro out of Clem. He also lost some of his marines though, so even those trades haven't been too hot. Okay, command center going down at 7 minutes already. We see 1-1 is on the way from almost about to finish even. The armory, the factory, everything is going down. These cars should not be dying. Oh my god, that was really close. Good denial here of that run by. Basically sees everything here if you have this tower, by the way. It makes it very easy for Clem to control this map with his Hellions. Then as long as he controls both towers, any type of run-by is going to be close to impossible. This is played off of 5 gas, by the way, here, out of Serral. So we're expecting a Hydra then somewhere. Yep. Hydra then into lurkers relatively soon. Might stay on Hydra Bane for a bit though. If we take a look at his current position, might even start thinking about pushing across the map. His creep spread is getting very, very far on the map currently. We have a couple of Hellbats just moving forward in a weird way. These queens, if they fall, would be a big deal. One goes down, two will go down. Might even get three. No, just goes for the Overlords instead. Yep, one more queen will end up falling. This is not a fight that Clem can take. Can target down 12 Banes at the same time, so he decides it's time indeed to go back for now. 152 supply against 149, 1200 minerals in the bank for Serral, as well as 200 gas. Clem had a small supply lead, but the moment Serral decides it's time... Oh! Not the cleanest pickup here coming out of Clem. These Hellbats are most likely going to end up dying, as the Banelings will be able to trade well with those. Yep, there we go. I like that Serral doesn't actually explode the Banelings. He just runs the Banelings next to the Hellbats, so they have to run away. Then he attacks them with the Hydras. Very cool move here coming out of Clem. Serral once again in the supply lead though. Should be thinking of tacking to a hive at this point. Infestation pit, lurker then are things that I'm surprised that we're not seeing them yet. Especially because this is such a comfortable game here for Serral. Still on 6 gas only. Liberators being F2'd back home. It's a classic F2 move here. You can see it, you can see it. Managed to keep these on the other side of the map, but this Liberator will bite the dust. Quick scan here for Clem could mean a lot for him in terms of creep denial. We still have about 8 Marines are on the bottom side. Shouldn't be able to do too much. I think that scan might be a little bit too late, because now Serral's here and he's ready to defend. There we go, he's moving in. Hydra's pushing forward as well. This is going to be a nice little fight for Serral, who pushes his opponent away from the creep. Then we'll just need to build a couple of extra Banes. There's a lot of Hydras here, and there's actually no upgrades for the Hydras. I just realized there's not a single range upgrade. Very often with this setup, you see people go into 1-1, and then they go for 1-2. So they get range +1 and +2 carapace. And then you have +1 on both units. But instead we see Serral going for that +2 melee. And that means that those Hydralisks are not going to be contributing too much to this army damage-wise for a while. He's 18 Hydralisks, not having any upgrades on that is kind of painful. He is on 84 workers at this point. He's trying to take out a bunch of these mines. There's only 2 mines here. I mean, this is going to be a very nice cleanup here for Serral, who will be able to take out 2 tanks with it. A lot of factory units going down. We now have mines moving forward. Clem feeling very comfortable in this position, but does he have enough defense at his third base? There's 2 tanks there. And we have a big run by coming in. There's 7 Marines, there's 2 tanks. That simply can't be enough. Does Clem notice this? Clem does see this. Here come the Marines, here come the Marines. It's only 7 though. Yep, 2 tanks will end up falling. A bunch of these Banelings are getting targeted down, but so will a lot of these SCVs. Now, it's not going to be the end of the world, because Clem still has a lot of SCVs. He has triple muling coming in, but yeah, this is looking a lot better this game than it did last game for Serral. As you see Clem slowly but surely microing forward his Marines, trying to catch that army on the retreat. There's a crap ton of medavacs here. It doesn't mean that those Marines aren't low. 2 tanks sieging up in a chasing fashion. Clem needs to be so careful. We have the 3 extra barracks being added, so Marauder production can truly start at this point. Lurker then just finished up as well. I think I saw on the production tab. Yep, there we go. I like what Serral's been doing so far this game, but he still needs to do something before Clem gets that 3-3. The moment Clem gets 3-3, this army is actually looking kind of scary. Maybe with lurkers. Yeah, I mean, the moment lurkers are out, usually the aggression of the Terran kind of ends. We see a Ghost Academy going down as well, so we're actually moving into a proper lurker mid-game at this point. This is potential for a very big flank. I think Clem just realized that as well, but I think he realized half a second too late. These tanks aren't sieged up quite yet, and they're all gonna go down. There was 6 tanks just now that got taken out. 1 more tank in the middle as well. This base is in danger. I like this move out of Clem though. Instead of saying, hey, I need to defend with everything, why don't I just attack? Try to take out one of your bases. You just killed 6 of my tanks. I'm just gonna deny a bunch of your creep on that bottom right side of the map, and I can just pick up and run. Maybe he even wanted to go for this base. Should really boost this though. Oh, doesn't have boost available. Here we go, here we go. Clem, get the boost. Okay, a little bit too late with that boost there. Just wasn't quite available for him yet. Needs to pick this up, needs to run. Ooh, this is the opposite of a clean pickup there, my friends. This is not a clean pickup at all. We still have that one medevac here in the corner. Dropping the main will be able to maybe take out a macro actually, but that's not going to be the end of the world. There's still 16 larvae available at this point for Serral. We see the pickup 2 Vipers will be able to parasitic bomb this, or perhaps even abduct this into hydras, into queens, into spores. Yep, there comes the parasitic bombs. I am not surprised. Good splits immediately, obviously, out of Clem. I'm not even sure why I mentioned these things anymore, because it's so obvious at this point that there's going to be good splits. Should just be a given. 3-3 has finished here for Clem, who's fighting a 3-3 battle against, if you count the lurkers and the hydras, just going to be 1-2. There's +2 range on the way, there's +2 carapace, over halfway done already at this point, but I mean, Serral does need to be careful. This is an interesting move. I wonder if these guys are on hold position. And well, it doesn't really matter if they're on hold position, if Clem just sees them. Is there concussive shell already? Yep, there's concussive shell. 3 of these lurkers, they have to make their retreat right now. Very little HP left in the bank for them. 9 lurkers are here. We have adaptive talents. Yep, we have seismic spines as well as an army. And here come 5 lurkers. And they're joined by a couple of banelings to try and take out these SCVs. Or perhaps try to take out a couple of marines that will end up showing up. Interesting scan forward. Clem now realizing he can't really move in there. Just hold positions into the lurker spines. That's one way to go if you're a marine. Couple of ghosts here. Well, a couple of ghosts. 2 handful of ghosts. Not sure if that's going to be enough here. Clem says, yeah, that's absolutely fine, Kevin. Why do you doubt me? This is why you're the inferior teammate. A bit of a fake drop into the main base. I'm not even quite sure what this is, but lots of weird actions going all around. Is there a Nidus already? No, we don't have a Nidus, so this can't be for Nidus. Liberator will end up cleaning up those lurkers. Unit lost tab, actually, I think it's the first time in my life that I've seen a unit lost tab in favor of the Zerg. Serral been taking some fantastic trades. There's no more sensor tower here on this side of the map. Will make it harder for Clem to say, okay, I know where your army is. I can move my own defensive units accordingly. Here we see a jump on top of this tank. Is kind of dangerous, but the marine count isn't big enough to clear all of these links, and all of these ghosts kind of are in danger. This is some nice stutter step kite movement here out of Clem with these ghosts. Gonna try to take out 1 or 2 of them lurkers. Don't forget, once one of those lurker spines hits these channeling ghosts, the ghost snipe will end up getting cancelled. I think Serral kind of needs to run here for now. Unit lost very, very, very close. Oh yeah, 90 workers against 80 as well. Clem trying to set up a 6th base, while Serral is trying to set up his 7th base. And once Serral gets his 7th base going, that's kind of his side of the map. I mean, you still have this, I'm not even sure, this pathetic excuse for a base. Yeah, you show up with this base to a family reunion, and everyone won't stop making fun of you for the next few years. I would not recommend that, guys. That is not the type of base you want to brag with. It's 4 mineral patches and a rich Vespine geyser. It's nice that you have a rich Vespine geyser, but you want some minerals as well. I actually see some... I'm not sure if this is considered a base trade, but like some split army situation here. And I'm actually much preferring the situation for our good friend Serral. Throws down a blinding cloud with this army. Lurkers are moving forward. Tanks are being taken out immediately. More lurkers are moving forward. There's still 5 lurkers alive. We'll be able to at least take out the mineral mining on this base. But even more so, we'll be able to take out a bunch of units that were coming to the defense of this base. So once again, a pretty decent trade here coming out of Serral, using Vipers, a bit of run by. Very reminiscent of how he used to play PvZ back in the day, where he'd have infestors with run by. So if someone would respond by sending like an Archon there or something like that, he'd be like, alright, just give me that Archon. And then that Archon would be fighting for Serral's side. We have another run by going towards the top left, looking to take out perhaps that planetary. This is not an area you easily run out of though. We actually saw Clem going for a surround, but sadly one part of the surround only consisted of 2 ghosts. Serral looked at that, spat at it, and the ghost fell over. So not the greatest fights here for Clem in the past few minutes. Is struggling getting that mining going, is struggling getting, oh my god, is struggling getting this army out alive, I'm gonna assume, because yeah, there's just a little bit too much right here for Serral. I think Serral's gonna go for a kill here on this top left base, and that would mean the second base being taken out in a mere minute and a half here in this game on 2000 atmospheres. See a couple of ghosts sniping those Hydra Lisk, now sniping Banelings as well. Truly have seen it all at this point. Lurker gets taken out, but once again a fight that, even though not necessarily not cost efficient, but a fight that you don't want as a Terran right now. Terran needs to get mining going. Terran needs a lot more money. Terran needs to max out, and none of these things are happening for Terran. My good friend Terran over here is struggling to even get the 180 supply, let alone 200. We only have a single vehicle plating as well, and even though tanks have been so prominent in this game, there's 27 tanks have gone down, there's still 5 alive. That means a total of 32 tanks with not a single siege upgrade, not a single tank vehicle attack upgrade. That is actually an issue here for Clem. That helps so much if you have a couple of upgrades on those tanks. We do see the defensive positions here once again. Most like, oh my god, this position is, holy crap, that was a position for Clem. That was a crazy good fight. I can't believe 5 units actually managed to hold that choke with it. 1 tank on the high ground. 18 kills on that tank right now. Good scan coming out of Clem. Will be able to take that out. And he's trying to set up further defenses forward here. Oh, gets an EMP. Hit absolutely nothing, I believe. Now needs to be careful. Those 2 tanks might get taken out. No, just 1. No, both tanks will get taken out. Snipes from the retreating Lurker. These have been some pretty okay trades. It doesn't quite show in the units lost stat. But this is looking better and better now for Clem. He's getting good counts of units out. He is getting good mining once again as well. What is his orbital count actually? We're on... I can never find the amount. Okay, 3 orbitals only. There's no way. Oh, actually he lost that orbital on his 3rd base. So this is probably going to be an orbital. He needs to get a higher orbital count. Not only for scans, but also... it will be nice to mule a little bit every now and again, you know? Oh, actually moved out of range with that... with that overseer. I didn't know it was possible to move out of range of the snipe. Ghost count is at 18. I click on 19 and I say 18. 19 ghosts. We'll be able to snipe out a lot of these lurkers. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, needs to be careful. Marines in the back will try to make their best. No mines with this army. Will not be able to take out any of these banelings. There's still 14 ghosts remaining, but... oh, a couple of ghosts just died there. A little bit of a medevac crash. Come on, we're gonna need scans. Scans? Is there no scans available here for Clem? I don't think there is. No scans on this. I think there's 1 scan here, not being used though. Clem realizing he can't quite fight it. Now we see this scan, but... I mean, the thing is, he's running low on scans. He's running low on army. He's running low on money as well, so he really doesn't have much of anything. Couple of decent snipes were attempted, but he's not going to be able to finish them because there was Baneling running towards this, and he can't justify losing any of this ghost. No mines in this army, not enough tanks to truly support this army, and I think, ladies and gentlemen, that this actually might just be it. I mean, sure, there's still a lot of supply here for Clem, and maybe I said this is it a little bit too fast, and I'm about to backpedal as hard as I can, but this position isn't good. He's getting an orbital onto this base. We have double spire upgrades coming in. Oh, Clem agrees with my analysis here and leaves the game. Oh, lucky me. Managed to save face. That's why he's my teammate. He knows when I mess up. And he knows, okay, Kevin is about to say something dumb. Let me just leave this game real fast so it looks a little bit smarter. Alright. We have 1 more game in this best of 3, which I actually realized that I just have 3 replays and I don't know who's gonna win the game. So it could have just been a 3-0, or that the first 2 games are 2-0 and the final game is a 1. But we're actually gonna get a best of 3 where it goes into 1-1. And we'll be going into our final game to see who wins the most MMR today. Alright, friends and family, we're gonna be going into our final game of today. So we see Liquid Clem in the red once again with this ugly, no, this, why would I say ugly? This beautiful looking smile of this lovely man. I think this means that there was something wrong with the actual picture. Like, this is the replacement picture that Blizzard puts in. I think this is like an ex-employee You used to just... I remember, I think in Warcraft 3 you also got this guy, and then it would say tooltip missing, then you get this guy spinning around, or being wherever. People used custom images. Legendary times, honestly, Warcraft 3. But not quite as legendary as seeing Clem and Serral face off on the ladder 3 times in a row. So yeah, I'm kind of excited to see where this will go. Once again, all of your standard shenanigans are happening in this game as expected. Nothing crazy going on. I mean, you don't really expect anything crazy to go on here either, right? Look at this. I always like the animation of the refinery, by the way. I thought it was so cute. They have like the... That's putting in. So they do 3 per side. No, wait. Is it just random? 3, 1. Okay, 3 from the left and 1 from the right. I never actually looked at it this intensely. No, it's 2 from the right. Oh, it might actually just be random. And it just looked like a pattern or something like that. I once read that a bunch of scientists managed to trick some pigeons into thinking there was a pattern. So basically what they would do, they had like a bunch of levers. And this story could be completely made up, but this is how I remember it, okay? This. There was a bunch of levers and like little things that the pigeons could use. And no matter what they would pull or whatever they would do, at like a random interval, the pigeons would just be getting food anyway, like somewhere from below. And then the pigeons, they thought they could see patterns in the things they did. So they kind of got some superstition, like if they pulled this lever 4 times, then eventually food came out, because the food always came out, right? There was always a payout in the end. I can't remember how I got there. It was because of the gas. So yeah, and people have the same. We tend to see patterns even if there are no patterns there. It's very common. I can't remember how it related back to that, but that's other research, and you'll need to post in the comments down below. Tell me all about it. Also tell me that it wasn't pigeons, but like rats or something. I'm pretty sure it was pigeons. Pigeons are really annoying. Yesterday I saw a male pigeon chase a female pigeon for almost 2 minutes around. It looked really dumb when he did it and make a funny noise. Bit creepy vibes, but it's okay. It's pigeons, I can't help it. Oof. Mr. Clem, moving around with his Reaper. Looking for a place to go. See, pulled up to Serral's base. Looking for a... Looking past half past that. Feeling half past that. But luckily the Reaper heals by itself. Two Hellions show up. Okay, he's gonna go into multiple cars again. That went so terribly last game. He's gonna once again try it though. You see Banshees as well here. Huh, interesting. Banshee Hellion off of 3 CC. Very nice build order for Clem. Has to cut a little bit in his car production for now to continue building. He continues building a couple of Marines, by the way. It's 2 out. Gets his attack lab straight away after. How many cars will Mr. Clem go into here? I'm expecting something like 8. We've seen Cure play this exact opener and then go up to like 12, 14 cars and get an armory. And then you get this really oddly, terribly timed Hellbat all-ins. Well, which aren't really all-in because you have very good eco, but your triple Rex is going to be delayed and all those type of things. And it's not something that Clem likes to do. Clem doesn't like to delay his 3 Rexes. He really hates doing that. If there's one thing he wants quickly, it's his triple Rex. He's actually just gonna go into 6 cars total, double Hellion, and then call it quits. So he's still gonna get relatively fast barracks added here. All of these cars look pretty healthy as well. Haven't been able to really do much of anything. Serral just sees this. He's like, wait a second, you can't just rally into my vision and expect me not to have a look at it. This is a weird map for Hellion rotations, by the way. And because you have this slow zone, it's gonna be part of one of your rotations. Now you see Clem going towards the top side. Maybe just looking for a fort base. I mean, this fort base is so difficult to take because of these cliffs. Like you can just stand up there, run down with Marines. If you can ever get a tank there, like that would be absolutely legendary as well. But yeah, all of these rotations are super long. So you see Clem taking it up. Who's taking the forward base here on Blackburn? Interesting. Here comes the cavalry. Will Serral be able to stop it? 1, 2. Ooh, you're gonna need to... Yeah. That's gonna suck, buddy. It's not gonna suck as much as Queens of Creep though. So he's completely fine. We heard a scan, we see a scan, and we see a tumor or 2 go down. 3 overlords on the way here for Serral. Who's gonna be getting into bailing speed. Do we have a similar position this time for Serral as we had last game? I want to say no. His forward base is extremely late. His worker count isn't quite as high as it was last game either. Last game he went up before that for those first 2 medevacts up to like 78, maybe even 82 workers or so. Hasn't been quite able to do that this time around. See, his forward base is extremely late. And oh, that's a dead Banshee. Yeah, that's painful. Very, very painful. Did manage to clear the creep at the same time though, but obviously not going to be the end of the world here for Serral. So going into Spire. Interesting. Very, very interesting opening up with that Spire. Clem thinks he can fight there. I think that was an okay fight. Lost 2 cars, sure, but ended up killing a bunch of links. 66 workers here for Serral against the 63 of Liquid's Clem. We see still on 3 bases here for Serral. 3 bases, 1-1 on the way. He's going to be able to pop out 8, 9 mutas once his Spire finishes. Is that going to be in time to deal with that first push? I think the answer will be no. The answer is no. There's already medevacts out. I hadn't noticed that. But I saw it because of the unit step, not because I saw anything happen on the mini map. Don't you worry, guys. Quick push forward here, coming out of Clem. 69 workers, nice, against 77. Not their base on the way yet. We've been seeing his 3rd CC go down very quickly in these last 2 games, around the 7-minute mark. Not this time around though. We see no extra command center, no extra barracks either, of course. Those are just going to be 5 wrecks. Double factory. Oh, good lord, Clem. Forgot to pull away your works for a sec. Lose 12 workers immediately, basically. Very, very painful here for the Terran player. Not in the worst position, but this all got pushed back. And now the Mutalist should start to, you know, get their butt on the map. 11, it's Dutch. 11 Mutalists are on the way. A little bit of a split army here coming out of Clem. Also, a little bit of not the greatest split control. He's moving forward very aggressively though. He feels like he has an opportunity, or maybe he feels like he needs to finish it because he lost so many workers. But I mean, he's moving forward so far on creep. There's 1 tumor here that he missed. Oh, that is so annoying. There's another tumor. There's 2 tumors that he missed. These are important tumors. Very, very important tumors. Oh my god, we see 1 more scan. This is not enough here for Clem. This is definitely not enough here for Clem. He's gonna end up losing a bunch of the tanks here. Thor is on the way, but so is a 4th base. We have more Mutalisks being rallied in. 63 workers against 76. Drilling Claws is on the way. We have Clem trying to kind of keep this middle position. He's still being extremely aggressive. And he's denying a lot of creep, which is nice. That's the one thing I do have to admit. Clem's doing a good job denying creep. He's going to get every last tumor here. A little sloppy control there coming out of Serral. I don't think Serral can actually fight this. Not like this. Serral, very, very poor engagement out of Serral. Links running into Marines. Banelings running into Widowmines. Exactly how you dream an engagement if you're a Terran player. Where's that first Thor? It is not about to pop out. Oh my god, there's so many units back at home. How does Clem do this? Just way better trades, right? Yeah. He's trading so cost efficiently. Whenever these mines get involved, this entire game just becomes so Terran favored when it comes to trading. I feel like tanks don't have that in the same regard against Zerg very often. Oh, good splits coming out of Clem. Curious to see if he's going to be able to actually take... He's taking out... Holy crap, he took out every last Baneling there. Now the Thor in the back is dealing a lot of damage as well. 155 supply against 142. 2-2 is about to finish. Serral calls it quits. He says, yes, I'm only down 8 supply. I have no creep left though. I have no 5th base. I'm going to be down in workers soon. And I have no future in this game. And that's going to be it for today's videos. We see Clem win this best of 3 on the ladder in a A cheeky 2-1, congratulations to him. You won more MMR than your opponent today. Serral will need to beat 17 more 6.3k tosses in order to get that back. If you enjoyed this video, and if you want me to bother Clem for more replays, where by the way, Clem told me, he said, Kevin, this is a real conversation we had. I said, Clem, like, it's fun and all, but every single time I get your ladder replays, you win. And he said, Kevin, I know that, but I just win a lot on the ladder. And I say, well, yeah, that's rough. I checked his match history. He does indeed win a lot, but he doesn't really lose. He has days where he doesn't lose games. How's that even possible? I have days where I don't win games. He sometimes has 2 days in a row where he doesn't lose a single game. That has to be absolutely amazing. You just enter the ladder and everyone is afraid of you. When I enter the ladder, everyone wants to play against me. It's like, oh, this guy's way higher MMR than I think he's worth. Well, that's it for today, guys. With that knowledge, I leave you. Thanks everyone for watching. I'll see y'all next time for a new fantastic video. Bye bye.